So we are students at the Yestermorrow Design Build School. We met in August. This was a picture of our orientation trip, and we were working on our project through December 11th, and debatably after, but at least until then. We come from different places, but something that we all have in common is that we all have attended or are attending different schools in New England. So yeah, that's us.
So designing a house for a client, as you can imagine, is a really daunting process. So we started small by just talking about what we wanted our building to look like, what we wanted the space to feel like, and then broke off into small groups, slowly working up to one big group.
20 seconds is so fast. Okay, that's fine. But I really want to talk about, this is us just chilling and relaxing. We're working on a project for a woman named Janaki who is designing a social justice space, and it's a lot of fun and it's really interesting. It's also exhausting. So this is when we used to have recess during full days of design.
So we had several restrictions with this project, namely the fact that because we have to move the several different sections, they can't be any wider or taller than 14 feet. Also, Janaki wanted 2 separate buildings. It's the largest structure that the Yestermorrow Semester program has attempted so far. She wants both a social justice library space and a space for scholar in residence.
And as you can see, it's quite hectic. Times are really rough at times. And sometimes we want to give up. This is the last moment when we were finally presenting our final design to our client.
And so what we ended up doing, 15's a lot of people to design with, and we were designing such a subjective space. A library for social justice was really challenging. So we just ended up putting this up on the board for 6 weeks and just kept changing and modifying it on the board. Every time we tried to do something more concrete, it changed.
So this is a picture of our workspace. This is kind of the calm before the storm, because right now it is full of wood scraps, zip pieces, all of this stuff. So this is where we work. This is where all of the building happens. It's really cool.
So this is our first floor pack that we made, which was super exciting because we all helped put it together. And our program, so it's a design build program, truly design build. We had to start building before we were totally done with our design because of our time restrictions and all these things. So it's cool because when we make something, that's not, perfection is a myth of the machine. So we have to adjust our design.
And sometimes there's not always things for everyone to do at the same time when you're just building one floor pack. So there's a lot of one person's doing one thing and 4 people standing around watching. And it's helpful, but sometimes not always.
In this picture, you can see that we actually are all collaborating on one wall. This is actually our very first wall that we are raising, and as you can see, we're leveling it and plumbing it. But we are collaborating, so that's one of the biggest things we try to undertake is collaboration in our group with 15 when we're all trying to work.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, okay. So this is kind of a jump ahead in time, but we really started to get into the groove. That first wall Brandon was just talking about took us 3 days and everyone was working on it. And the next 3 walls went up in a day. So we slowly have been getting into our groove, all getting projects.
Now it's finally my turn. Okay, the tripartite division that you see here was because we have to move the structure, and we can only move it on 14-foot wide trailer. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the 2 rectangular buildings, move them, and the mudroom in the middle is actually just 2 walls, a floor pack, and a roof. We're going to disassemble it and then reassemble it on the site. It's going to be crazy.
So another thing that we also get to do is part of us have taken on smaller projects and started to really focus on things that we wanted to learn about. And electrical is something that me and a few of my other partners have been learning. And now we are journey women electrical apprentices.
Okay, so that first picture of the hangar that we call was actually very clean. As now you can see, it's actually very hectic. This is a small part of it. But as you can see, there's a lot of materials just kind of scattered all over in an organized fashion. We have it we're staining materials. We're always using the chop saw. We're building molds for pouring cement countertops and sinks. And yep, there we go.
These are 2 of my colleagues putting in the windows, which are a very exciting thing. I think that the windows kind of show the whole process because we had to change the window scheme a lot. Every time, we changed something aesthetic, then we would have to change something functional, and it kind of working on windows reminded me of how interconnected the whole building is. Like, you can't change one part without all the others.
Okay, and this is a little bit further. As you can see, we're starting to put exterior insulation, and a big part of this project is we took into consideration sustainability. So a lot of the materials and items that we sourced are local from around Waitsfield area. There we go.
This is a picture of our site, and that is a render of our current design. Something else that we've been learning about is using Google SketchUp and like other programs, but mostly Google SketchUp, which is a new thing for a lot of us. And yeah, over to the left is a view where like we made these big southern openings so that the people in the library and the residents can see nice things.
This is a picture that we took at night after a long day's work. Sometimes we don't get as much done as we think we would, so we actually work into the night, and it just goes to show like how dedicated we are and how much ownership we feel over this building.
So that was a really quick snippet of everything. We have some hard times and we have some great times, but at the end of every day we do hands in and we say something we're really excited about that we did that day. It's just been like a whirlwind, but a great one, and can't wait for you to all see our final product.